I knew something was wrong the moment he called my name without looking at me. His voice was too steady, too controlled, like a man who had already made peace with a decision that would destroy someone else. We were setting the table for our anniversary dinner, 12 years together, when he quietly walked in holding a small, elegant gift box. Silver ribbon, perfect bow. The kind of box a husband brings when he's trying to be romantic. But his eyes, they weren't celebrating anything. They were saying goodbye. He didn't touch me, didn't kiss my cheek, didn't even pretend. He just placed the box on the counter and said, "Call the kids." A chill moved through me. Not fear, not yet, just awareness. Like standing at the edge of a cliff and suddenly realizing the ground beneath you is thinner than you thought. The kids ran in, laughing, unaware of the violence that truth can carry. My husband opened the box slowly, almost gently, as if he were unveiling a funeral mask. 3 envelopes, 3 photos, 3 DNA test kits. He handed one to each child, placed the photos on top, and exhaled with a calmness that felt like a knife sliding between my ribs. "These are your real fathers," he said. Silence. Not dramatic silence, dead silence. The kind that sucks the oxygen out of the room. He slid his car keys into his pocket. "If you have questions, ask your mom." A small wave, a hollow smile. Then he left. Just like that. The door clicked shut. And my world, the one I spent 12 years stitching together with lies, split open. I didn't scream, didn't collapse, didn't chase him. I just stood there, still, cold, watching the void he left behind settle over everything. Because I knew exactly how this happened. I felt the first shift months ago, small, almost invisible. He started coming home early, stopped arguing, stopped reacting. He looked at me the way a doctor looks at a patient before telling them the diagnosis is terminal. He knew. Not everything, not yet, but enough. Enough to start confirming what his gut had been whispering. Enough to dig where I never expected him to look. I replayed the past weeks with new eyes. The way he had started studying the kids' faces, quietly, discreetly. The late nights on his laptop. The missing toothbrush. He'd been staying at a hotel, not the office like he said. The credit card charge for a DNA courier service. He had moved like a shadow, silent, deliberate, a surgeon preparing for a clean cut. I should have felt panic, but all I felt was the cold reality of inevitability. Truth always arrives. Sometimes gently, sometimes like a man walking out the front door without turning back. I went upstairs after the kids shut themselves in their rooms, confused, angry, whispering accusations that bounced off the walls. I sat on the edge of my bed and opened my phone. There it was, the message he had sent to himself and forgotten to delete from the shared tablet. All results confirmed, all 3. She'll understand everything soon. A part of me wanted to beg for another chance. A smaller, quieter part, the part of me that had betrayed him, wanted to disappear. But the part he didn't know about, the part that learned how to survive long before I met him, that part began to breathe. I waited until morning. He returned, not to reconcile, but to pick up his suitcase. His face was unreadable. A man who had burned every bridge, then stood watching the flames calmly. I didn't try to stop him. Instead, I handed him an envelope. Plain, unmarked, cold. He hesitated. For the first time, his hands weren't steady. Inside were 2 pages. 1, my full confession, signed. 2, a statement granting him full custody if he chose to pursue it. He stared at me, completely unprepared for the weight of my calmness. "Why?" he whispered. I held his gaze. "Because now the silence belonged to me," I said. "And because you weren't the one who failed this family, I was." His breath caught, shattered, not victorious. He had expected a war. He got surrender. But not the kind he could use against me. Not the kind that begged, the kind that ended everything. He stepped back, gripping the papers like they burned. His victory tasted like ash. He left without another word, and I remained in the doorway, watching him disappear down the street. No tears, no regret, just the quiet clarity of consequence. The truth didn't just expose me, it freed him. And in the ruin he left behind, I finally understood something. Some endings aren't punishments, they're corrections. And I walked back inside, untouched by the chaos I created, because the moment he closed that door, I closed every version of myself that once needed to be saved.